They say when you fall in love with a song, you'll never forget the first time you heard it. Good morning. My name is Travis Coy, and my wife, Theresa Jean-Pierre Coy, is a song I hear for the rest of my life. Theresa and I met in law school. She was a curious newcomer, and I was in my last year. I wish I could say I noticed her and it was love at first sight, but honestly, that was far from the truth. It wasn't until we were both in line for pizza at a student organization meeting when she stopped me and asked, "Why are you so dressed up?" My only response was, "You know we're in law school, right?" It was at that moment that I never stopped noticing her. Our friendship started that day and formed over years that followed. Our first date was somewhat of a disaster, but I'm so thankful that we gave it another try and went out on a date to a concert. We laughed through dinner, the concert was amazing, and somewhere in the evening, we both saw each other in a different light. In 2008, I nervously proposed on a New York City carriage ride through Central Park. With our parents' blessings, we became husband and wife. Our careers flourished. Theresa was a social justice advocate and highly respected criminal defense attorney. I joined the prosecutor's office. We would spend long nights debating the law and current events, and her insights made me a better lawyer. Her love made me a better person. When Theresa threw a big 40th birthday party for me and hinted that she was pregnant, my joy was cautiously tempered. We had already experienced 6 heartbreaking miscarriages. When I heard our baby Thaddeus cry for the first time, I finally exhaled. Heartbreak soon struck again when Theresa noticed swelling in her breast and her doctor ordered a mammogram. I'll never forget getting that call. Through tears, she told me the news: stage 3, chemo, radiation, surgery. The words hung in the air like a hot, humid day. Like each of Theresa's pregnancies, I was again holding my breath. I learned to navigate Moffitt Cancer Center like a pro: the best parking spots, the food selection in the cafeteria, and I could navigate through the hospital halls better than the transport staff. Theresa took on cancer like she did everything, with a positive spirit, hard work, and more concern for others than herself. Eventually, we rang the celebratory bell. We walked out of Moffitt that day, full of hope for the future. Just shy of 2 years of being cancer-free, she began to have intense back pain. Our drive to Moffitt was too familiar, and the news was not good. Cancer was spreading to her bones and liver. It was not long before we heard those words you hear in Hollywood movies: "We're sorry. There is nothing else we can do." "How much time do I have?" she asked. Before I could say, "I don't want to know," the doctor said, "Days, weeks at best." We left Moffitt and the medical team that we counted on for advice, empathy, and care. We felt lost. We knew we were not fighting. Cancer had won in her body, but her spirits, our souls, were very much alive. And that is when we met LifePath Hospice. They came into our life to care for Theresa's body and her mind, soul, and spirit. They gave me answers to questions I didn't even know to ask. They had walked this journey with many young moms who were preparing to say goodbye to their little ones too soon. They had been by the side of husbands trying to honor their marriage vows of for better, for worse. They gave us a soft landing, a safety net to navigate what was to come. They gave us the reassurance to face the hardest days of our lives. We spent her last days at the Melesh Hospice House, a place that felt like home where we could be together as a family. In one last act of defying this brutal disease, Theresa booked a suite at Amalie Arena for a concert, not for herself, but for me and our friends. Knowing she was under the care of the Malesh Hospice House caregivers, she begged me to go, and I finally relented. Music was our love language, where we found happiness and where we found each other. She wanted that final gift for my soul. Theresa passed away 4 days later, April the 11th, 2022. I hate that I now talk about her in past tense, that she's not here to see our son grow up. But with free counseling from LifePath, they're teaching me grief is not something you run from, and that fear and vulnerability are the only way through it. They remind me that tears are just words that only the soul can speak, and that I'm not weak when I cry. It just means I was greatly loved by someone pretty special. Through group therapy at Circle of Love for Grieving Children, they are helping Thaddeus understand he is not the only 6-year-old who lost his mom, and that grief is another word for love. Theresa will always be the song in my heart. LifePath is helping me make peace with her loss so I can listen again. Thank you.